The 7 million-year history of mankind is about to end by no other than the ones who created mankind, the gods. At the Council of Valhalla, the gods had gathered after a 1,000 years since the last meeting to decide the fate of mankind. Zeus is leading the meeting, asking the rest of the gods if they should let mankind live for another 1,000 years or end them. Shiva speaks first and supports their end because in the past 1,000 years they have not shown any intention to reform themselves. Aphrodite supports their end as well, stating the world had become unpleasant with all the trash spreading around the world, forests disappearing and animals going extinct. The other gods agree with their statements and all vote to end mankind. Zeus prepares to announce the final decision, however. Brunhild, one of the Valkyries, interrupts him as she objects. She states that simply ending them would be too crude and proposes the gods to demonstrate their mercy and power by testing mankind. She then suggests Ragnarok as stipulated in the ultra-special clause of Article 62 of the Constitution of Valhalla. It's a one-on-one battle between the gods and mankind. 13 humans and 13 gods face one-on-one, and the first to achieve 7 victories wins. If the gods win, mankind will be eliminated, but if humans win, mankind will live for another 1,000 years. Though the thought of human defeating a god makes the gods laugh, Brunhild mocks them, saying that it sounds like they're afraid of direct competition with humans. As such, the gods laugh, attempting to hide their anger. Zeus then accepts the proposal and agrees that the gods will fight the humans and tells Brunhild to select the human champions. At the Valhalla arena, Ragnarok is about to start. Heimdall appears in the middle of the arena to announce the start. The winner is determined by the opponent perishing. The first representative of the gods is the strongest Norse god and the god of thunder, Thor. Brunhild isn't worried, as the warrior she chose is the most maniacal warrior. Heimdall then announces the human representative is the most powerful of all Chinese heroes, Ultimatum. Heimdall then takes a deep breath and blows out his Jallarhorn, announcing the start of Ragnarok. The battle between Thor and Ultimatum starts, but neither take a guard stance and simply walk towards each other like a boss. Both have vanquished their enemies with only a single blow. As they get close, Ultimatum strikes with his spear. Thor blocks it with his hammer, but gets pushed back. Thor then uses electricity and grabs his hammer with both hands and bends backwards to take a stance. Hyugen and Mjolnir comment that Ultimatum must have earned some of Thor's respect, otherwise he wouldn't use Thor's hammer on human. In ancient times, Asgard was surrounded by high walls that protected it from invasions from the land of the giants, Jotunheimer. While guarding the walls, the guardian angels complained about how peaceful it is. Suddenly, an army of 66 frost giants stormed Asgard. Tyr and the guardian angels fought but were overwhelmed, so the giants broke through the walls. The guardian angel knights came but were no match for the giants either. As Asgard was on the verge of destruction with the giants reaching the castle gates, Forseti started to panic. However, Thor alone opened the gates. Bored, he single-handedly obliterated all 66 giants. His technique was later called Thor's hammer. Seeing Thor taking the stance, all gods know that Thor's hammer is coming and believe it would be the end of Ultimatum. Thor then strikes, and the impact sends Heimdall and Zhang Fei flying. Odin does not react, though Hyugen and Mjolnir are barely able to brace for the impact. Gol falls on her knees, believing it's the end. However, Brunhild tells her to stand up and observe the moment when the history of the gods and mankind is transformed. Out of nowhere, Ultimatum slashes Thor, causing a wound on his chest. The sight surprises the gods. Both Ultimatum and Thor then thought that if they were born in the same era and species, they could have been friends. Years ago in the Mongolian steppes, a young Ultimatum travels in search of the strongest opponent. His name eventually spread across all of China, and all those who stood in his way were eventually exterminated, which in return increased his followers. After 30 years of traveling, Ultimatum realized there's no one on Earth who's a match to him. Ultimatum was eventually captured by Cao Cao, and it was said he begged for his life. However, Ultimatum became a captive because he was bored knowing he was the strongest, as he no longer found life worth living. As Zeus is surprised and Hermes wonders how a human can injure a god, it is also revealed that a human weapon would crumble instantly, as no human weapon can withstand that of a god's. Looking at Brunhild, Zeus then realizes what's going on. Before Ragnarok began, Brunhild told Gol that Ultimatum will be the first fighter. Gol finds him too dangerous, but even if he is the strongest warrior, she wonders if he stands a chance against a god. Brunhild states he obviously doesn't stand a chance with a human weapon. However, if they have a weapon of the gods, then things would be different. The 13 Valkyries are then summoned by Brunhild, causing Gol to comment it's the first time she saw all 13 together and wonders what is Brunhild up to. Before Ragnarok, Brunhild calls the fourth sister Rangriz and asks her if she knows of Thor's sacred weapons. Rangriz confirms that he has iron gloves that can fend off any attack Jarngraper. He also has his hammer, Mjolnir. Brunhild finds those two weapons as the dirtiest cheats of all sacred items. But in order to defeat Thor, they need to overcome them. Brunhild asks Rangriz if she will dedicate her body for that purpose, and she agrees. Back to the fight, Lulubu's halberd starts to glow, making the gods realize what it is. Please leave some love if you watched this far. Brunhild explains that the Valkyries have a hidden power, Vlunder, which transforms their body into a sacred weapon able to rival the gods' weapons, and Rangriz have become a Vlunder for Lulubu. As Lulubu disarms Thor and strikes with his halberd, Thor blocks using his iron gloves, but they start to crack. Mjolnir is a powerful weapon. However, anyone wielding its immense power and intense lava-like heat will be annihilated. For that, Thor wears Jarngraper, the greatest armor in the heavens, allowing him to wield Mjolnir. From Lulubu's strike, the right glove shatters into pieces, surprising the gods. As Lulubu manages to injure Thor again, Zeus confirms that the Valkyries are rebelling against the gods, but he finds it exhilarating. Meanwhile, Mjolnir starts to heat up and melts the ground. Suddenly, everyone starts to hear a sound and realize something is happening with Mjolnir. Thor approaches it, commenting that it's finally awakened. It then cracks its outer shell, revealing to have flesh inside. Zeus explains that there's a misunderstanding about the legend of the two weapons. The gloves are not there to protect Thor from Mjolnir's power, but to retrain Thor's power to prevent him from crushing Mjolnir before it awakens. Thor then removes the remaining glove and tosses it aside. Thor then lifts Mjolnir and asks Lulubu to not die. Meanwhile, Brunhild receives a message on her phone and sees she received the full list of Ragnarok participants. Brunhild then comments that one day the 13 humans will be called the 13 God Slayers, the Einherjar. On the other end, Hermes shows the list to Zeus, who finds it more exciting than he anticipated. As Thor prepares to swing with his full power and awaken Mjolnir, the gods gets excited as this will be the first time. Thor then throws Mjolnir at Lulubu, and according to the legend, it never misses. However, Lulubu bends back and down, dodging the hammer. Lulubu then rushes towards Thor, but sees Mjolnir coming from behind and dodges again. Thor then uses Garrod Thor's hammer, striking Lulubu. Lulubu blocks Thor's mighty Garrod hammer, however, his legs break from the hit. Zeus then comments that he likes how Lulubu took the blow as a man, however, now he can't take much more damage, and the winner must already be determined. As Thor lifts his hammer again, Chen Gong cries, knowing he will see the death of his master once again. Suddenly, Red Hair, Lulubu's trusty steed, comes to the arena. Realizing Red Hair hasn't given up, Chen Gong inspires everyone to continue cheering for Lulubu. Heimdall doesn't believe he can stand up again, but following everyone's cheers, Lulubu manages to stand up, then he gets on Red Hair's back. Lulubu then recalls how as a child he saw a bolt of lightning burst an enormous tree into flames, but it didn't frighten him. He naively thought there must be someone awesome in the sky. Hermes then asks if Zeus is approving the interference of Red Hair, as it should be against the rules. However, Zeus states the horse is an extension of Lulubu's body. Lulubu then starts to run in circles around Thor and grabs the halberd at the very tip. Back in his past, when he realized he was the strongest, Lulubu still kept swinging and practicing his weapon technique, breaking numerous halberds, as he knew that one day he will face a mighty foe. After several years of practice, Lulubu developed superhuman grip and arm strength, splitting the sky and developing a new technique, Sky Eater. He then jumps towards Thor to use Sky Eater, exciting Thor as he now gets intrigued by humans. However, Thor throws his hammer and prepares for another Garrod hammer. Their attacks clash, causing bursts of lighting and shockwaves. In the end, the halberd breaks and Rangriz returns to her normal form. Thor's attack wins, shattering Lulubu's arms. Knowing he used everything he had, he feels joy and charges one last time at Thor, who then finishes Lulubu with his hammer. With the first battle, Heimdall announces Thor as the winner of the first round in Ragnarok, and the gods start celebrating their first win. As Lulubu perishes with a smile, Liu Bai, Guan Yu, and Zhang Fi drink a toast for their fallen hero. Meanwhile, the gods mock the humans, telling them they didn't even stand a chance. Looking depressed, Thor heads towards the exit of the arena. However, Lulubu's army, led by Chen Gong and Red Hair, state that it's meaningless to continue living without their lord, and they all charge at Thor. Thor agrees, stating it's an offering for his friend Lulubu, and destroys the smiling army as well. Gol then wonders what will happen to Lulubu and Rangriz. Brunhild explains this is a battle of souls, and once their souls crumble, they cannot be recovered, be reborn, or be saved in any way, so they cease to exist and become dust. Golg is upset seeing that Brunhild isn't even sad that they will no longer see Rangriz, but Brunhild yells at her, stating that you can't slay a god if you act sad. They return to Brunhild's room where she selects the next fighter, the first human, and the one that detests the gods the most. Later, the Valhalla arena is restored and Heimdall appears to announce the fighters in the second round. He first introduces the human fighter and a platform rises him high in the sky above the arena. Animals then come out and surround the platform. Heimdall explains he's a man who called himself a man and was born of God, but rebelled against him. He's the father of all mankind, Adam. As the crowd cheer for him, Adam bites and spits out a red apple, stating it's sour. Meanwhile, the gods doesn't find him appealing compared to little Boo, but Aphrodite finds him cute. Heimdall then proceeds with the introduction of the strongest Indian god. However, no one comes out of the corridor. Heimdall then receives a message stating there's change in fighting order. Music is then heard and Hermes appears while playing a violin. Heimdall proceeds with the introduction and explains that the one who will face Adam is Zeus himself. Gold and Brunhild are shocked, while the humans wonder if the old man can still fight. Zeus then tells Hermes to play his introduction song and Hermes gets excited as it's been centuries since he last played his iconic song. So Hermes summons more violins and starts playing, while Zeus starts dancing. Heimdall then states that while Adam is the father of mankind, Zeus is the godfather of the cosmos. The gods start chanting GFOC. As Zeus continues to dance, his muscles start to expand and enlarge as if he's getting buffer. The humans are surprised this is Zeus, while Brunhild didn't expect Zeus to be fighting in this second round. The second round is about to start and Ares takes a seat next to Hermes. Zeus asks Adam where his Volundr is, as without it, the fight will end in an instant. Adam points to the sky and states the Valkyrie is already here. Reginleif is up in the sky on a Pegasus. Brunhild then comments she's the most appropriate Valkyrie for Adam, the seventh Valkyrie, Reginleif, daughter of the gods. She then jumps down and tells Adam to give her his hand and that their hearts must be on the same wavelength for her to become part of him. As they touch, she becomes a Volin in Adam's weapon, a knuckle duster on his right hand. Zeus comments that Adam has picked a nice weapon. He agrees and refers to Zeus as a pal and continues to ask where his weapon is. Zeus says he'll just be fighting with bare knuckles as he wants to hear his bones crack. As such, Zeus starts the fight and in an instant closes the distance between him and Adam, and attempts to punch, but Adam dodges. As a result, Zeus keeps increasing his speed, however, Adam keeps dodging with ease. Afterwards, Zeus instantly follows with a kick, Divine Axe, going for Adam's lower body. However, Adam just keeps dodging. Zeus then gets more excited, but says running away won't get him anywhere. Adam says he's aware of that and instantly attacks, causing a small wound on his cheek. Adam then keeps increasing his speed and copies Zeus' meteor jab. All of Adam's attacks him. Gold is surprised that Adam could copy a god's techniques, but Brunhild explains that Adam was created in God's image, therefore he is able to copy all of the god's techniques he sees. Zeus then starts special footwork preparation and moves around Adam with high speed. Eventually, he closes and attempts to kick Adam, however Adam once again dodges and copies the same footwork and kicks Zeus, causing him to go down. Adam states he doesn't really want to do this, but it's a competition and apologizes to Grandpa Zeus. Back at Titanomachy, the battle to determine the most powerful god in the universe, a younger Zeus had defeated all of his opponents without even getting hit. But as he faces father Kronos, he received a hit to the jaw without even managing to see it. However, he still defeated Kronos and smashed his head. Zeus then learned his father's technique and named it the fist that surpassed time, a blow that defies all laws. As he launches it against Adam, time seemingly stops. However, Adam still copies it and hits him with it, causing Zeus to fall to the ground and surprises everyone.